Welcome to Mr. Podcast with Claude.
And Justin.
We're back with our Watchmen HBO TV series extravaganza podcast commentary thing with
the
episode 103. She was killed by space
pithiest
junk.
podcast name.
Yeah, it's great. I'm looking forward to this intro for every episode.
She was killed by space
She
junk.
was killed by
Yes.
space junk, which,
That's
I don't know who she is, but by
I
the
don't
end,
either.
she didn't die by space junk.
Nobody died by no space junk.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
But
don't even know.
one of the interesting things I was reading about a particular artifice that a certain she wielded in this episode, a blue artifice, if you will,
Ah.
which made me think space junk.
Oh.
And as big as that thing was, that might kill a
Oh.
person. Yeah, I thought that was maybe a
Oh.
little double entendre with space junk.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'll take that. That's a little surprising.
Yeah, hey, start
Interesting.
the podcast with the surprise. Look
Sure.
at that.
Yeah, that's what you do. It's all about the surprises. Yeah, that's weird. They did. It was like a mystery. Like a mystery briefcase,
Mm-hmm.
Pulp Fiction kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like the big reveal, and it's like, yeah. I mean, um, yeah, that's weird. I haven't really figured out like the rest of the titles, so it's the first one where
Yeah.
seems like there's a. I mean, the second one like came from the painting seemingly, but like
Mm-hmm.
it's still like, but why though?
Yeah.
Um, and the first one, I don't even know. It
What was
seems
that? It's
random.
summer and we're
We're
almost out of
running out of
ice.
ice.
We're running out
Yeah.
of ice. Yeah, that was weird. There wasn't like any, you'd expect like, oh, there's a heat wave
Yeah, I don't think they
or
even talk about that. I
yeah.
guess it's
Now,
summer.
ice is also, immigration custom enforcement.
Mm.
which is a law enforcement slash police
Uh-oh.
agency. It is the
Uh-oh.
pilot is really heavily about the police. They
True.
were running out of
True.
police the night that a lot of them got killed.
Okay.
Maybe that happened
Wow.
during the summer.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, I'm trying here. I'm working hard,
Okay.
trying to make some
Okay.
connections.
Wow.
So maybe that's the ice. I feel like ice is also
Sure.
a euphemism for drugs. Um,
Is it?
I think so.
What kind of drugs?
Cold drugs.
Hey, hey, can I have some ice? Like, what am I asking for?
The cocaine I had in the freezer. Um,
Okay.
chilled. No, ice is like rocks. Rock now I'm doubting my
Okay.
my
Like, I've
street
heard it
cred.
for diamonds,
There
but
it is. Maybe that's it. Maybe
okay.
that's what I
Okay.
mean. Okay.
Okay. I mean, I'm not
Wait,
saying it's
diamonds aren't
never.
drugs?
Well, I don't snort diamonds. That's all I want to say.
We on the Mr. Podcast wholeheartedly agree you shouldn't snort diamonds. We're gonna take that stance. It's really controversial, but we're gonna take that stance. Don't snort diamonds.
That's right. We tell the hard truths first.
Yeah, then the soft truths later, and then we'll get into the hard lies and the
What's an
soft
example of
lies.
a soft truth?
Most people are good.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Did that count?
Wow. I don't know. I didn't know what you were gonna say, so
I didn't
I
either.
don't even know what that means. So yeah, I needed an example.
I
I
feel
don't
like a
think it's
soft
really
truth is
soft.
like it's true, but like not all the time.
Okay, okay,
That's
okay.
how I took it to
It's
mean.
not just a truth about a soft thing.
Well, it is now. So bread is a soft truth.
Yes.
The existence of
Yeah.
bread.
Yeah, like bread is made from yeast. Like there's a
Yeah,
soft truth.
that's a soft truth. I got it. Yeah, like my bed is comfortable.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. Pillows have like stuffing.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
soft truth. Listen, I know this is what people came to hear, but let's get into Watchmen, which I'm sure no one is
Or
here
like
to.
a slanket. What was a slanket again?
Oh God, I don't know what a slanket is.
Hold on. It was a. Hold on. It was.
A sleeved
Oh yeah,
blanket.
sleeve. It's a sleeve blank. It's like sleeves on a blanket.
Wow,
That's a
I don't
that's a
know if I've
slanket.
actually heard
There's a
that
soft
term.
truth. Have you never seen that slanket? Look it up. It's a
I've
thing.
heard of a snuggie. I don't know if I've heard of a slanket.
Slanket. Come on, look, the original blanket with sleeves. Yeah, look at that.
But isn't that a
Theslanket.com.
snuggie? Isn't
This
that what a
podcast
snuggie? Brought to you by Slanket. Slanket.com.
buy a slanket. Today, it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
original blanket with sleeves. It was the nicest, cuddliest blanket I could ever use.
Use the promo code Mr. Podcast for 15% off any order of Slanket in the next 30 minutes.
Oh my god, I hope someone does that. Seriously, maybe
Why
they'll
doesn't
give us
this
a
promo
sponsorship.
code work?
That's just
Yeah,
like
if enough
everyone's.
people complain that the promo code doesn't work, they'll just give us a sponsorship.
Yeah, see if it works. See if it works.
We're good at business. Well, now I actually want to be sponsored by Slanket because
I
it's so
agree.
dumb. I feel like that's an appropriate product for us to talk about, us to
I
promote.
think it makes sense. We were talking about how like everyone falls asleep to the podcast, right?
Yeah,
What's better to fall asleep on the couch listening to a podcast than a slanket?
the
Put your
Slanket.
sleeves in, hit play on your
Yeah,
phone or whatever the fuck you use,
yeah.
and then just go to sleep.
Then go to sleep, and then by the time you wake up, you're refreshed. The podcast is still going on. You've missed everything, but it doesn't
But
matter
it's fine. You don't
because
actually mind.
your arms have been in the sleeves of a blanket.
You can reach, you can
Yeah.
reach for like stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you need water or you need to hit pause or you need to turn the volume down or like you want to go on Twitter, see what they're saying about the latest episode of Mr. Podcast. I don't know what you do.
Hey, use promo code Mr. Podcast to get 15% off any order of Slanket in the next 30 minutes.
That's so arbitrary. How could that mean anything? This is a
Yeah, by
lie.
the time they hear the podcast, it doesn't work anymore. I'm sorry. We're great at business. I can tell you.
Oh shit. 30 minutes from now. Oh man, they have to know now. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to think really hard. Let's see if they can get it.
I mean, we could like tweet about it right this second, but that'd be
No!
weird
I want them to know. I want them to
through
know.
telepathy.
I'm sending it, okay?
What are you, Dr. Manhattan?
I'm trying.
Oh, he can't look like us.
Can he do that? Can he like send thoughts? I don't know what his powers are, honestly.
I
Does
think
he
he's
have that
got
power?
all the powers.
He has every power?
Well, he's like omniscient, right?
He's omniscient.
All right, Marge Simpson. Uh, on crack. Uh, chilled in the freezer.
That's
That's
just too
that's fine.
much. Like he can't be omniscient, can he?
I literally think that's the definition of his power.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So is the point of Dr. Manhattan like being omniscient like doesn't like solve all your
I,
problems?
listen, I'm just spitballing here, but I think off the top of my head, Dr. Manhattan powers includes matter manipulation, including his own body, telekinesis, teleportation, and limited clairvoyance. His perception of past, present, and future began to fuse, making him apathetic and misanthropic. Ooh.
Hmm.
It's implied that he's become immortal.
Okay.
So that's it. So he's got like this clairvoyance, and so the
Okay.
past and the present and future is like wrote to him, so he doesn't care.
Okay.
And yeah, telekinesis, teleportation, and matter manipulation. So those are the big ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty good. That's
Uh,
pretty good. But it didn't say that he can send thoughts, right?
I
Like
did
that would
not
be
see
telepathy, I
telepathy.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see
Yeah.
that listed on the powers.
But no one's having dreams yet, so we'll see. How long before we get a dream? I feel like, Lindelof shows always have dreams.
That's a really good point. That's actually an interesting question to think about. Some of the previous his tropes from previous shows and what and when or if they might show up on this show.
Yeah. I
Um,
guess the other thing would be like seeing things that may or may not be there,
mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm.
know, which is kind of related to the dream thing, but more like, you know, when they're awake.
Yeah, waking dreams.
Waking dreams, yeah, or hallucinations, or the line between a hallucination and like a real supernatural like
Yeah,
apparition or something. I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe that doesn't fit into the story, but it's definitely in Leftovers and Lost.
yeah. I
So
bet it'll come into play. I bet something like that'll come into play. Someone will have some sort of dream. And I'm still waiting on Regina King to bury a bird just to see what happens. Um,
oh no!
yeah,
Oh man! Oh man, that was classic.
that was awesome.
I gotta bury this bird.
Is that bird dead? That bird ain't dead.
Damn it, the bird ain't dead. That's bad.
That's bad that it's not dead. Bird gotta die.
Oh
Our
god. I
dreams will
remember on the
fly.
podcast like endlessly try like why would you bury a bird and then when you
Hmm.
go look, what do you want to see?
What do you want to see? Yeah, not a live bird.
Not a live bird. No, that's bad.
So she was killed by Space Junk.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Slanket. You have 22 minutes to call now in order to get 15% off with promo code Mr. Podcast. Times of wasting. Why aren't our phones ringing? Because they're ordering online, dummy.
Good point. Good point. Do they even have a phone number?
Well, 1-800-SLANKIT.
Oh man, does that work?
Let's call it and find out. Let me see what number that is. I'm
Call
gonna
it
go on my
live.
phone. Let's see.
Okay, I'm gonna check.
1-800-SLANKET. It actually works out. It's 1-800-752-6538. I'm gonna call it
Wow.
right now.
Oh shit.
Okay,
Oh
let's see.
shit.
I'm gonna put it on speakerphone.
Oh my god, this is terrifying.
Let's see what happens.
Live radio. Oh my god, I'm scared.
1-800-7.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
Oh, well, that was
Please
it.
hang up and try your call again.
That was anticlimactic.
Boo.
Well, I think the good news is that number's available if we want to take it for
We should
ourselves.
take it. It's a great number. How would
It's an
no one
awesome
have
number.
that? That makes no
Dude.
sense. Yeah, I'm looking on the FAQ or whatever for slanket.com, and it sounds like they don't even have a phone number.
Wow.
Like I can't find any phone number anywhere.
Wow. It's like they're not even trying to cater to people who think it's 1992. Wow.
Yeah, why not? I don't
Why not?
understand.
What if that's a huge demo?
Some of those people might want to slank it.
Well, they won't be able to get it with a phone call.
Too bad.
Operators are not standing by. Wow. Well, we've got a phone number we should buy. I mean, I feel
Yeah,
like
I
that's a
want that
successful
phone number.
podcast.
How do you buy a phone number?
1-800 by phone.
Buy phone.
Should I call that number? I'm gonna call 1-800 by phone.
Oh shit!
Okay, that's
GoDaddy sells phone
1-800
numbers.
1-800-BUYPHONE.
That should be too many
numbers.
letters. Yeah, yeah.
So that's 1-800-289-74663. So I'll just take the 3 off. So we'll
Okay.
do 1-800-289-7466. All right, let's see who that is.
All right, all right.
Thank you for calling Andromeda Technology Solutions.
Oh.
Our office is currently closed.
Oh.
If you're experiencing an after-hours emergency,
I am.
press 9 now. If you know the extension of the person you wish to speak to, you may dial it at any time.
Oh. Well, that number's taken. I guess we can't get
Andromeda
that, guys.
Technology Solutions?
Yeah.
They said?
Yeah.
They do like, okay, so I looked them up. They do like IT shit. Why would it be an emergency? Oh, well, they have burglar alarms. Maybe that's the idea. I guess they have,
Help!
like,
Someone
security
stole my
cameras.
Slanket. And I called 1-800-SLANK-IT, and it's not a number.
That's what you call it.
I've tried one thing, and I'm all out of ideas.
Whenever someone steals something, I just call 1-800 that thing.
1-800 that thing. Yeah. Do you have a better plan?
Like that's all they did before the
Yeah.
internet.
Imagine if we were like stoned right now. Like, would the podcast be better or worse?
Good
Because I
question.
feel like this is just us podcasting in the middle of a work night, being tired.
It does feel that way. It has a little bit of a side taste of that. I would agree.
Yeah, there's something there.
I
Well,
mean,
listen.
we've always been all about frivolity and the tangent. This did take it to another level. I don't think we've ever done a live call on the
We've
podcast
never live.
before.
I mean, we're completely always innovating. Is what
that
we
was
like
off
to do
book.
here.
That was some improvised crazy shit that just happened.
Hey, you heard it live, folks. Pre-recorded. That's what live means sometimes. So okay, let's talk about this episode. Okay, so she was killed by space junk. I'm really loving this show, as we talked about in the last podcast.
Oh yeah,
and I thought this episode just added so much extra. I love Jean Smart.
Yeah. It was a new angle on things. It actually was a little bit Twin Peaks, like having the FBI agent come from the outside.
Oh, good call.
Brought like a different perspective. I know David Lindelof's a fan of Twin Peaks because he was like all about that shit when it was on. And I think also like the tension between the FBI and the local police is like a little bit Twin Peaks as well.
And you know what else is also very Twin Peaks now that you say that, is particularly in this episode, is this idea of her being on the phone talking to someone is very reminiscent of Cooper talking to Diane.
That isn't listening and we never hear a response.
Yeah, that's completely. He just copied that.
You're right. You're
nice,
right.
Good catch.
Wow.
Yeah, I really thought this episode was really good, and again another strong female character where she's just in charge in every scene, and I love the confrontation where I think like that thing that I love about writing where like you want to give the audience what they want, but not necessarily when they want it, and like I want Jean Smart and Regina King to team up,
right?
But like that's not going to happen for a while.
Right.
They started adversary. Yeah, and I actually like that better, because you can, them being put against each other in a state of conflict will only make them shine, individually to see how they react, right? And Regina King was just like, "Oh, I'm not scared of you. Like I'm Sister Night, bitch. Like, who are you?" And then she's like, "I'm Silk Spectre, bitch. What do you want? Let's get in our costumes and fight. Like, come on." That's the subtext that I heard in that
Definitely.
scene.
No, I agree.
Yeah. Which is it's just cool, man. It's just so fun and cool. And I feel like I'm digging this grave of adulation for this show where I like it so much that I can only be disappointed by the end.
That's the grave. Okay.
Yeah. Where I feel like
no, totally agree.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta like pull back my love because like I can't. There's literally nothing for me to criticize so far in this show.
Stop enjoying it because of the pain that might come later.
Exactly.
That's the idea.
That's a way to protect your heart.
No, seriously, like what it reminds me of, if anything, is especially season 3 of The Leftovers. I remember like being like super excited about it early on. It was like the craziest, coolest shit. I was like all about it. And then as the season went on, towards the end, it was like, oh no.
Listen, that flood never came. And that, that's when I knew things were off the rails. Because I'm like, that flood ain't a coming.
Yeah.
Y'all on the roof, that flood ain't coming nowhere near that roof.
Yeah. And, Lost, like, to a degree is like that too. I do feel like maybe a bit less than The Leftovers, but I think there was still like a kind of tapering off and not necessarily addressing. Okay, yes. So not necessarily addressing the things that were most interesting, or at least let's say that we found most interesting when we were podcasting, you know, the cabin or whatever,
Never
that
heard of
type of
it.
stuff, like wasn't the focal point. Okay, so my strategy for this show, like we had a brief exchange in the last podcast where, you know, I was talking about like what I'm interested in. And so like I am trying with the Watchmen consciously on a certain level to pay attention to what the show is spending time on and
Mm-hmm.
assume that that stuff is important.
Mistake number one.
I've had that problem before where I don't do that. I'm like, oh yeah, they're just like, this is just filler.
Yeah.
And the real stuff is like this thing about the hotel, or the real stuff is, you know what I
Oh, I
mean?
see what you're saying. Gotcha. Yeah.
Like, it's like, no, it's not actually, you know what I mean? So I'm trying not to
Mm-hmm.
get bogged down and getting obsessed with like a certain detail that interests me, but paying attention to like what the central plot seems to
That's
be, which
actually,
like,
yeah. That's
y-
actually what I did, I think, when in our conversation in the last podcast. You were like, "Hey, I'm really focused on like the ground level, normal
yeah,
storyline about the cops and the conspiracy." And I was doing the hotel thing of saying,
yeah,
"Well, I'm actually more interested in the crazy supernatural Dr. Manhattan,
right,
Ozymandias stuff."
yeah.
So we'll see who's right.
We will. But yeah, that's kind of the idea behind that. Like I'm not saying that Ozymandias or Dr. Manhattan won't like play some role in the story, but just based on the way the screen time is organized, I
Mm-hmm.
expect it to be more minor than the Regina King, Louis Gossett
Well,
Jr. like
yeah, and
stuff.
what I would expect is it will get more screen time later, but it still won't be ultimately the defining plot points. And I feel
Right.
like that's what the hotel stuff was.
Yeah.
It did get more screen time later, but it didn't
Right.
ultimately. They stuck a toe in that water, but then they came back to reality to finish up the plot. You know, and I
Yeah.
think that's what I actually would expect, and that's kind of what I was saying last podcast was I think the later part of the season will deal more with the Dr. Manhattan stuff and the
Yeah.
more with the Ozymandias stuff, but with the caveat that they're not going to end on that as being what it's all about
Right. Like the
necessarily.
core of what the show's about. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think Damon Lindelof, as much as he loves the fantastical, his whole point is the mundane,
Right. Yeah.
and because that's the world we can't extricate ourselves from.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
same with
And the
the island.
characters and why they are who they are. And so it's going to be
Exactly.
about like backstories and,
Mhm.
um, all this shit from the past and how that is like
Mhm.
influencing what they're doing now. And, and so just clearly like there's a personal story there. And I think that is going to get a lot of dramatic weight. And so, anyway, like, I think it's an interesting plot. I agree that like it's it's not like a plot that's unheard of.
Which plot are you talking about?
Just like the conspiracy, the killing
Oh,
the chief, what are his
sure.
secrets,
Yeah.
what's like the the Regina King like background, whatever
Yeah.
happened in the past, like from
Yeah.
the Tulsa massacre
There's a
to
lot of little parts to the mysteries, right? There's
yeah.
a lot of little parts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think like to me that's like pretty interesting. I think I could enjoy a show that was even just about that,
Mhm.
without the extra shit. It makes
I
it
agree.
better that they have the extra stuff.
I agree. Just the
But
normal stuff is really interesting by
yeah,
itself.
it could be like Homeland or something,
Yep.
where like I can enjoy a show like that where it's just like right on the level of like here's what it's about, like
Mhm.
boom. It doesn't have to necessarily involve anything crazy, but I do enjoy the crazy stuff. And obviously like Jeremy Irons, to me it just feels like those scenes are adding up to, some punchline,
Yeah.
you know? Um and it will tie in, I'm sure, but I don't think just based on his screen time, like I don't think he's like gonna be the most important character in the show. Basically, like I don't think it's gonna be about him in the end. You know,
Mhm.
it's gonna be
Well,
about
yeah,
how whatever he's doing ties into what's
yeah.
going on with
I do
our main
wonder though
characters.
if that stuff will be the pivot point though, and that'll pivot into season 2, and maybe they'll because
It could
you
be.
know I'm 60-40 that season 2 we get a shift in focus on the characters like they did in
Mm-hmm.
leftovers,
Yeah.
right? So it could be
Right.
season 2 the old school Watchmen characters like Ozymandias get more screen time in the beginning, and then we sort of meld back into the newer
Hmm.
original characters, like
Yeah,
Sister Night and stuff.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think for a new season, they'll have to have like new characters, or they'll bring forward characters that have been sitting in the background, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that definitely could happen. Yeah, season two is weird. Like, I feel like it's hard to predict season two until I see what season one is, you know? But
Well,
I
that
think
sounds
what you're saying
reasonable.
makes sense. What?
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, like how open ended is it going to be, you know what I mean? Is it going
Yeah.
to be like what's in the hatch, who knows, come back next season, or is it going to be more like, you know, like the end of season 2 of
Yeah.
Leftovers, where
Yeah.
it's like they really shut down the Jarden plot to such an extent that when they go back there in season 3, it's like, okay, we need to leave like as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got nothing to do here, so let's just like we bomb the faith, not the faith militant, Game of Thrones mode, the guilty remnant. And so it's like, oh, we'll bomb them, they're dead, and then like they all got to go to Australia, get the fuck out of there,
Yeah.
you know. Let's move on, basically.
That's another thing I'm interested to see if we're going to have a change of location throughout the show like you did with
Hmm.
Leftovers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they definitely could do that, depending on
Mm-hmm.
what happens this season. And I
Yeah.
do think it kind of depends on what the story is like. So at the end of season 2 of the leftover, God, I hate to spoil every show, but like you've seen the leftovers, right?
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully.
you know, Jarden is like trashed, you know, they come through,
Mm-hmm.
they loot, it's burning. That's kind of like, I mean, it's technically still there in season 3, but it's kind of like we're done with it,
It's
you
just
know?
more, yeah, it's burning the cabin down as much as they
Yeah.
could.
That's the old say. So like if season 1 ends with Tulsa burning, then I think we'll move.
Mm-hmm.
That
Well,
would
and you're
be
right. I could see season. Well, I could see either season. I could see a season finale of either season being a big terrorist attack by the
Seven
cavalry.
Cavalry. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe that necessitates Sister Night and her family to leave because
Right.
it's so they destroyed the police force. Or it's
Yeah.
the white, what is it called, the White Night, right? When everybody died, all the police officers got attacked. Was it White
Yes,
Night?
the White Knight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like part two,
Yeah.
right? Even bigger. And so now,
Right.
and then maybe the cavalry takes over Tulsa, and the FBI have to come in because all the local police are gone, and
Yeah.
that necessitates a change in scenery. Or Sister Knight gets recruited to the FBI because whatever crazy thing they did
Oh
in
yeah, yeah.
Tulsa, now they're going to do it in some other town,
Yeah.
and Sister Knight has intricate knowledge and gets recruited. I can,
Yeah.
there's some things there.
They could totally do that. Yeah. That would make sense actually.
Yeah.
And that would like make it natural to be able to move the location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like that theory. I like that theory. Cuz I do think like the current season is very Tulsa centric,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like that's also a signal that
Yep, that they
they
won't
might
be there
move.
forever.
Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
because they're going to mine everything they can about
Yeah.
setting up that world, and then want to move on and do it somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
once you do all that about Tulsa, it's sort of like how do you
Yeah.
just stay there?
Yeah, we
You
did
know?
it. Time to move.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And it's a whole world, you know. They have this thing in the pilot about how like Regina King comes from Saigon because like they won the Vietnam War, and so like Vietnam's a state now. And so just to say, like, there's a whole crazy world out there outside of Tulsa,
Yeah, there's other
you
places
know?
that are completely different to our own reality that they could go explore for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Which seems like something, you know, the show might want to do at some
Hmm.
point. So yeah.
And I think there might be some idea of like, obviously in this episode we get this idea of the FBI vigilanteism being illegal, right? So
Yeah.
maybe there's a pivot point that's going to happen with the resurgence of the white nationalist group, the cavalry. Maybe they get so powerful that we will need vigilantes in cities again, and maybe that's sort
Hmm.
of what leads into season 2 was like this need to have vigilanteism come back because police can't handle it, or or sort of vigilanteism comes back against sort of the rule of law, and therefore we need like other characters to kind of help go stop it in other cities, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, what it's cool, man. It's such a weird show, and it's such yeah, it's got so many interesting qualities to it that it's weird. It's weird. I think the fact that all of the sort of hero characters are just vigilantes and don't have real superpowers. Everyone except for like Dr. Manhattan uh really adds to the show in a way that makes it more accessible. As much as I love Marvel and DC type stuff
Mm-hmm.
storytelling, I think it makes it way more accessible, and it makes the
Yeah.
characters a bit easier to write for in a lot of ways that are interesting.
Yeah. 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 I agree. I agree.
Well, cool. You want to jump into this episode and see how she
Yeah.
gets killed by space junk?
Yeah. I want to know. It's a big question.
All right. Well, you now have 10 minutes left to use promo code Mr. Podcast to get 15% off your Slanket. I hope you got it, guys.
You're gonna need it.
You're gonna want your arms covered by blanket material for this podcast. Why do my arms feel weird? Are they covered by blanket? No, that's your problem.
That's the problem.
It's really easy. All right, everybody, get your players ready if you're going to sync up with us for this commentary. We're going to press a button and get some Watchmen going.
Yeah, let's do that. Hello, this is Justin again from Mr. Podcast. Just wanted to let you know that once again there was a technical glitch, a little buffering occurred during the commentary, so we will be a little off during the first 25 minutes or so of this episode. Also, the episode audio does not include the previously on segment, which we did watch, so just be aware that's why it's silent at the beginning. All right, see you next time.
Sync up with us in 5, 4, 3, 2, Watchmen. Hanging from a tree.
Uh-oh.
Bad news. Well, why did he want to take credit for that? I don't know. Did we talk about that last
Yeah,
podcast?
no, that's a good question. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it like he
I mean, I'm
knew-
assuming he really did it, but
I don't think
Yeah.
he did it.
I think he did it. I mean, with help, but I think it was involved.
Okay.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah,
but that's what I think for the moment.
Huh.
And I think he's I think he knows that this thing.
Yeah. I think
that she's his granddaughter, and so I feel like he's trying to lead her in a certain direction. I don't really know what that is, but part of it is uncovering the conspiracy. Presumably.
That's one of the best endings to an episode ever. Man.
Oh, that ending was great. Yes, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, what other dead body? Yeah, that was a crazy line. We're gonna have a use for that dead body.
Oh yeah, he did say that. That's weird. Ew.
Yeah, and
what,
how
did
many
they
other
reanimate them?
How many other dead bodies are there in the basement?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Wow.
We've seen 2 on the show so far.
All right.
So.
Dial Watchmen. What is happening here? 1-800. Oh, she talks on the phone.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this machine is really interesting. I don't have any context for this in terms of is this a thing from the comics or not, but this whole idea of being able to contact Dr. Manhattan on this true thing is interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Like, did he set this up? Like, how did this happen?
Yeah, I don't understand it. And it reminds me of 2001: A Space Odyssey when the guy calls his daughter from the space.
Yes, it is like that. Definitely. Yeah, but he's not really there. It's like you just leave a message.
Leave a message, yeah.
And does he listen to that? Like, how often? I don't know. It's just weird. Like, you don't know anything about what's going on the other end here. But who funded this?
And I love this whole setup of the jokes, how this
whole
thing plays out. The context that she's basically talking about the 3 main heroes, basically. I thought it just was so well. The whole thing was so well done. I didn't really get the punchline with the brick. I'm the girl who threw the brick, and like, why did that kill God? And I didn't catch it, but
Yeah, I have no idea what that means, but
yeah,
I'm hoping that we'll get that later.
yeah.
I
Like
do
she
like,
threw a brick so high it went to heaven. Like I didn't really get it.
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Reminds me of like, yeah, I don't know. Some weird thing where they threw stuff high. I don't know. But yeah, like I like the way it's like it seems like she forgets and loses the thread and trails off with the
Yeah,
story. But then you realize that it
it
comes
was
back
mis.
to
It
it.
was like some weird misdirection to
Yeah,
like. Yeah,
exactly.
it's
Yeah, it
so.
felt
It's
like a very Linda Luff thing to do.
yeah. It was a total shuffle.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, hold on. I have an idea. How is this an idea?
I have an idea. So I have an extra brick. I know what we'll do. I'll throw it so high that what?
That it's gonna kill God, and then we won't have to worry about the like. I just, yeah, I don't think I get that.
And that's what's interesting to me. The idea of forgetting the joke. I'll tell you another one is part of the joke.
Right,
Not that it's really a joke.
right. No, it's really not.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is also misdirection. More
Yeah.
straightforward,
Yeah.
but it's definitely misdirection.
Well, and it ties into the whole thing, right? It's almost
Yeah.
telling us like we should know that she's misdirecting Dr. Manhattan because she's
Yep.
misdirecting this guy here.
Yep. Yep.
It's really well
Right.
done, man. I'm really upset how much I like this show.
It is upsetting. I agree.
I'm like mad how good it is because I feel like it might be bad later.
Right, right. Yeah, that's the thing. Lurking behind the enjoyment is
Is
future pain.
is future pain. You can only be let down.
This is like a crappy Batman.
Yeah, crap, man. I love this too. It's so insidious and awful and depraved to entrap someone who's trying to do good and save people just because the law says he shouldn't do it.
Hmm.
It's so awful. I love it. And then this whole thing where she just like shoots him, and then the guy's like,
Yeah.
"How'd you know his bulletproof would stop him?" And she's like, "Bitch, I didn't know. I was trying to kill him."
Yeah. Yeah. I thought he was dead at that point when
I
I
did think he
the
was. I
first
thought
time.
that's what this reaction was about.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's cool they get a little bit more out of it by saying he actually is alive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, this is the same, kind of idea with the in leftovers. The world building with the sudden departure and when people think about it, and
Hmm.
how society has changed because of these events in the past. And I really
Yeah.
like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I guess that's one thing that's different about Lost. Like the events of Lost don't necessarily affect the wider world.
Yeah, it seems
You
like he
know?
wanted to remedy that in his
Yeah.
subsequent shows.
Yeah.
Like he wanted it actually the crazy miraculous backstory to actually affect the world.
Right. Yeah, like they insinuated that maybe it affects the world, but they never showed that really.
Hmm. Yeah, and all
So,
the stuff outside of the island had to be like in secret and Middle Oast and the Dharma
right.
stuff and
Exactly. Yeah, no one really knew like what was going on.
yeah.
Oceanic 6 was a fake story.
Hmm. Oh, this is interesting. She's got an owl she feeds.
Oh, right. I forgot
Now,
about
is this
that.
supposed to be Night Owl's owl? Is that I
Does
don't.
Night Owl have an owl?
You would think. I love that her code wasn't 666.
Hmm.
It was weird because you expect it to be, but it wasn't.
Yeah, so close.
So close. She's one number
That
away
definitely
from
makes it seem
devil.
like a Pulp Fiction thing as well.
Yeah, the blue light instead of the gold light. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Agent Blake.
Agent Blake.
I'm too good looking to be bad.
I draw out my vowels. Yeah, no, this guy, something is up with this guy. I
Yeah.
don't, I feel like he's not what he appears to be.
I don't think you cast this guy unless you want him to red herring with his like boyish charm.
Yeah. 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 He has that vibe of like he could easily turn into a bad guy.
Yeah, you don't want to know what is in his closet,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
but we'll find out.
Now it could be like a double switch where it's like you think he's gonna be bad, but it turns out he's not. But at the very least, like there's something there.
Yeah, I love this joke. Who?
Oh god,
It's so
classic.
dumb.
30s comedy.
Yeah. She was one of the main cast in the TV show Legion, and she was so good in that.
Legion.
She, yeah, she was one of the reasons that show was
Oh,
good. Her character
okay.
wasn't like great though, but she was still good in it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're giving her a lot more to do in this show. She's got a lot more
Oh
to play.
yeah. I mean, they're giving her a lot to do, so
Yeah,
presumably that's
like a
more.
ton.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically like a Gene Smart centric episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Regina King is not even in it that much, which is
Yep.
a huge shift from the first two.
Yep.
You can't argue
And
with
I
those
love this. I
numbers.
love this thing too, just the details of the world and how it happened and this Defensive Police Act and like why they did it and if it and just like the nuance of some people don't think it made sense. I like that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think there is like a part of the show that like we are supposed to question what the police is doing to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
Even if like we're not supposed to like the white supremacist.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. God, don't remind me. This is such a great shot. Someone pointed out this on
Oh
Twitter where it's hiding her face on the poster in the bag.
yeah.
It's so brilliant because it
Yeah,
becomes a
I did
reveal
not
at the end
notice
of
that the
this.
first
Yeah, it becomes a
time.
reveal. Here it is. Here's the reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so well done. And you're like, oh, because you don't know who she is really, unless you
Right.
know that name.
Yeah. True. And I definitely did not.
I love that idea. Forget the brick because that's actually the most important part of the story
Yep.
later.
Yep. Yep.
And here it again, I feel like David Lynch studied magic. Not David Lynch. David Lindelof studied like magic or something because it's totally that prestige thing. It's totally
Yes.
that like really understanding how you're tricking the audience into the trap you're setting. I thought the answer to this riddle that God would want to hear is someone who only killed like one person and it was like the one person that made it all right, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
zero people's bad, a lot
Right.
of people's bad, but if
Mm-hmm.
you killed one person who was the right person, then that would be okay. I thought that would be the joke, but
Then you're
that wasn't
safe.
it. That
Yeah.
wasn't it.
No.
That was good to know.
Yeah, they make that explicit. I assume that's what they were going for, but
Yeah. He's being sarcastic.
adjacent. Oh, this is a classic thing here where it's like, oh, it's from the journal. Like, fuck
Mm-hmm.
that. Who cares about that?
It's got to be important, yeah. Well, I thought that was important too because I've been wondering why are they wearing Rorschach masks.
Mm-hmm.
My friend who's familiar with the comics was like Rorschach would have hated these guys. So it's interesting that
Mm-hmm.
there's something with this manifesto that they went towards.
Yeah.
He survived because he was part of it.
Ooh.
That's my theory.
Ooh. Yeah, you might be right.
Senator
Senator
Giddy up.
Ouch. Jeez.
This also reminds me of 2001: A Space Odyssey, where he
Mm-hmm.
goes to get the briefing about the thing on Mars, the fighting on
Yeah.
Mars. Wow, this is so
Yeah.
interesting. Similar table setup.
Yep.
That was a great line.
Love that. They're like all supposed to go.
Yeah, she's like, no.
Nah, fuck that.
I also like this thing too. The guy who like screws up is the guy she picks,
Mm-hmm.
but then later it's like maybe she just picked the hot guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's like, I'll take you just in case I want to sleep with you later. I don't know. But I like that. I like that little thing.
Yeah. 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 He gets to take that like sort of rookie sidekick role.
Yeah. What's her name in Twin Peaks season 3? The new FBI
Tammy.
agent. Tammy. Yeah, he's the
Yep.
Tammy.
You think about that, Tammy?
Yeah, spiritual hand, spiritual finger.
Yeah, it's weird. This is like a Twin Peaks scene right here too.
Yeah.
On the plane.
Mm-hmm.
It's literal.
Yeah, I love that. I love when you like quote a classic phrase that's metaphorical and someone's like, no, that's not
No,
this place.
we're not going there. So
Easiest pie. We're not making pies.
exactly.
So Millennium Clock, I have no idea what that is. Is that the thing Dr. Manhattan built?
Is it? Yeah. Is that from the comics? I have no idea what that is.
I think
Oh,
that's
is it
the
an
thing he
Ozymandias
built.
thing?
Oh, maybe it's Ozymandias.
Because that's a
Oh,
Ozymandias
Lady
quote.
True. Oh, she's the one. That's the name from the machine that lets you call Mars.
Ah, okay. Right, yes. Okay, so Lady True built this thing, but it was from the Ozymandias company.
I
So
don't
that's
know.
why it's
Is
an
that what he
Ozymandias
said?
quote. Yeah. Because he's dead. Why did she just... Oh, okay. Brushing her teeth. Okay. She just spit in her coffee.
This is a weird. Yeah, it's a weird brushing your teeth thing. I like this scene. His little pushback.
Mm-hmm. When is this scene taking place? Do we find out? I
I
just
guess
realized
at
like
the
they're
end of
cutting to
all
this.
this,
At
at
the
the end
end?
of
Okay.
yeah, I think she sees the phone booth at the end
Okay,
of the
okay.
episode.
So we see her. Okay. Because I kind of lost track of
Because she
that.
technically hasn't come to town yet. She's on the
Right.
plane.
Oh, that's actually in Tulsa.
I believe so.
The
She's in
booth.
the middle of the town.
Okay.
The thing I want to know is like, when did that change? Because clearly the white supremacists don't remember that event. They don't care about that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah,
whole
yeah.
unity that
Well, I guess
happened,
it's
how long did
been
that
like
last?
30 years or something.
Yeah, but that's what I
So
want to know a little bit more about. Like, how
the
long did that unity
transition.
last? And
Yeah.
am not. What did he say? Am not to. I missed it.
Uh, yeah, I missed it too.
That's not how PhDs work.
PhDs don't tell you
I did,
things.
I did
They're not.
study. I did major in warehouses.
I'm not gonna buy my PhD a beer. It's
Yeah,
not gonna
exactly.
take my turn.
That was great stunt acting because he had to really fall.
Oh yeah.
A good shot.
Hope there was a pad there.
I didn't see a pad. The thing that's weird to me is how vigilantism is outlawed, but the cops can dress basically as vigilantes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wonder how that works. So it's like some of them
Yeah.
do that and some of them just have the yellow mask.
And I believe the original Watchmen used to be cops, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they're begging to start this whole thing over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think they were cops and then they were outlawed. So it's
Mm-hmm.
sort of like this.
Yeah.
I do think they're trying to do like a soft reboot, as they
Yeah,
call
because
it.
basically what would happen is if they pass the bill to say cops can't wear masks, then all the cops who don't agree with that would keep their masks and quit the force and be vigilantes.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what might happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. They're doing DNA tests?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think these are the people they round up in Nixonville.
Okay, okay, okay. But yeah, none of them did it, right? I mean, I don't think that.
No. Yeah, here's him wiping his.
There it is.
I love that.
Oh, I love this whole thing where it's like this reminds me of Lost.
It's so lost.
It's a racist detector.
Yep. Yep. Whenever what time somebody says something it's complicated and somebody else sums it up very
Mm-hmm.
succinctly.
Exactly. And just the idea that they have that, like, it reminds me of the whole like this machine detects how evil you are.
Yeah, you're totally right. I love this line. If you're gonna wear a mirror, somebody's gonna use it. It's true. The guy, yeah, he tied his tie in his face. The pilot.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I know who you are because this whole thing is a charade.
Well, I'll never take it off.
I love that line too. I want the control back.
Yeah, I feel
Literally and
like the
physically.
the mask is like really unsettling, but the person underneath is like
Yeah.
really
Well, that's the thing
not
that
threatening.
that I feel like they don't really think about is like you could do voice recognition on these cops in masks and figure out who they
Oh
are
yeah, you're right.
because he's not masking his voice at all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, especially this guy. This guy's
I
voice is
want
like
there.
really
Yeah.
distinctive. wasn't there. Sister Night.
Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, the problem with the system of wearing masks, right, is like a terrorist could like kidnap him, right, and then
Mm-hmm.
beat him for information to figure out who the cops are. He knows
Yeah.
who Sister Knight really is, right? So
Yeah.
it's not a great system,
Yeah.
but it's cool. I like this detail of the charging stations and all the little
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think I noticed that the
spots.
first time.
Who could that be?
There's so many people like that.
Yeah, there's too many to name.
Regular God.
Yeah. Oh, that's why they won the war, because they had Dr. Manhattan on their side.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good musical cue. I like this theme.
Yeah. All that matters is number of particles.
I know. That's what I was thinking. The
That
same
makes no
thing.
sense
Like
to me.
the state of the particles means it has no meaning. The energy in the particles has no meaning.
All I do is count particles.
I count particles. It's great. I'm a particle counter. Oh, I'm buffering. God
Oh
damn it.
no.
Buffering, still buffering. Oh no, it's still
Buffering.
there it is. I'm done.
All right, that was a few seconds of buffer. Let's see. All right. All right, I should be able to fix that in post.
Fix it in post. Show some respect and give him the gun that you obviously have, and I won't give him the gun I don't obviously have. I didn't really understand why they needed to do that, but you know, it's a good setup for later
Yeah.
because all the cops are disarmed. I guess is the main reason.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm suspicious about what happens here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What are you
Did I
suspicious
say that
about?
already? I'm just
No?
suspicious about how the 7th Cavalry guy, like how they managed to like dig a tunnel and go into the thing. Like I just feel like they have collaborators. To me, it supports the idea that there's a conspiracy.
Gotcha.
Because I'm just surprised they got away with that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think there's most likely some people on the police force who were in on this whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really suspect Keene being involved.
Who's Keen?
The senator.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Senator Giddy Up.
Senator Giddy Up. But he's not on the police force.
True. True. Yeah, as far as the police force, I'm not sure. But yeah, and he might not even be, but I suspect something's up with him, and they ask for him specifically.
Yeah. Which is weird though.
I
Unless this was
agree.
staged. I would want to think it's staged in order to give him some publicity stop, but the guy actually did have it tied to his heartbeat, so it was,
Right.
it wasn't
Legit.
stunt. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
but the idea that the the cops could be in on it, and they knew, the cavalry knew where to dig and where there wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be patrols or something like that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems weird to me that they would just
Yeah,
get away with this and no one noticed.
yeah.
Because it's just so extreme.
Well, they are extremists.
That is fair.
Uh, Full of her grammar flub. Oh, this is interesting. I didn't catch this the first time. The TikTok.
Yeah.
Why did they just use one of those paparazzi moth machines and fly over the fence?
That does seem a lot easier. Yeah, seriously. I mean, they would see him coming, so like, I don't
uh,
know. Maybe it would be like easier to stop, but
uh,
yeah. Moth machines are useful. They definitely should use those more.
mm-hmm.
I want to see mothing before the end of the season.
More moth, more machines.
Two moth, two machine.
He's like, this is what I want you to say at my funeral. I want you to say this song.
Yeah, it's weird. Do I have to sing it? Yes. Like, are they even clapping in the right place?
They're not.
It doesn't seem like it goes to me.
Yeah, they're really off to whatever the beat might be.
Yeah. I couldn't believe how long it is before anyone reacts to this.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. But they're focused on clapping on the beat.
Right?
I mean, that seems like a thing they would legitimately say. So that's why it makes me think,
No, I agree. I
yeah,
agree.
it's a weird one. I feel like he's up to something, but not
It might
necessarily
not
with
be
them.
he's with them, yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's something more than what we've seen.
Mm-hmm. Or it could be that he's pretending to be really against them, but ultimately he wants the same thing they want.
Yeah.
Yikes. Uh-oh.
Uh
She's the best.
yeah, it's like, what is your plan? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I thought, when she grabbed him, I was like, okay, she's gonna put him in the grave. But when she puts the coffin on top,
Yeah.
I like,
Yeah, that's the extra.
and then she's just by herself, like trying to push this fucking thing.
I
That's a
know,
little
it's
unrealistic, I think. But
totally ridiculous.
I mean, talk about desecration. But also, he went out with a bang, like he
There you
got to save
go.
his fellow cops posthumously,
Mm-hmm.
posthumously, if
After
you
the
will.
humus.
Yeah, the humus is gone.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Yeah, that was a weird cut.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was a bust of her,
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Because later
Is
he
it?
puts on the mask.
Yeah.
So I thought
That
like, oh, that's just a bust of her. But then like, it's really foreshadowing that he's
he's
Ozymandias.
Ozymandias. Yeah.
No, so it was weird. I didn't really
Ooh,
know.
he's got plans.
He's got plans.
Okay, so he's trying to like build some shit. That's like a
It's like a
catapult or
cantilever. Yeah,
something.
it's got a whole.
There you go. That's the word.
Yep.
Much better. Okay. See, I feel like I didn't pay attention to this the first time. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's
But
like
here's he's
building
yeah, he's building a spacesuit.
a
Was he gonna launch
spacesuit.
him over something?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. Okay, so it's like
Terrariums.
he used the buffalo skin for the like fabric or whatever. Is that is that why he
Well,
goes for
I
the
didn't think
buffalo?
well, I didn't think he had killed any buffalo at this point, but I don't know where he got this leather from, so maybe you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I had assumed. Well, I guess yeah. We'll see what they say at the end if they like
Yeah.
imply that he's ever done that before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was assuming. Okay,
I
he
don't
just
know
uses
what he
the
did here.
helmet.
He's putting like liquid nitrogen in him or something, and then he's upset
Yeah,
that it killed him.
yeah. I know. It's like I just don't.
And the fact, and it's important that it's a like a spacesuit type thing with a clear mask, and it's so weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Why does he have the rope on? Like, what's the rope
It
doing?
seems like that he expected him to fly away or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Why doesn't he?
The great beyond.
Yeah, this should be a rocket pack.
Yeah,
It
that's what
seems
it
like he's
feels like.
missing that. Like, what is going to
Or like
propel
he's putting
him?
like liquid helium and he's expecting him to
He's
float.
gonna like inflate. Yeah, this is weird.
He's
This is
turning
really
him into a
weird.
balloon and expecting him to fly away and he's gonna like hang on the rope. Hmm.
They do cut, so we don't actually see what happened.
Yeah.
So maybe he did like fly in the air and come back down, right? Like it's possible.
I get what, but why would he? If that's liquid nitrogen, why would he
Well,
fly?
I don't know. It makes no sense, but I'm just saying, like, the cut means we didn't really see exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So we can't necessarily
And
conclude that
that's
he
what's
just
weird
stood
is like I
there.
don't know what went wrong. Was it the wrong gas mixture? Was it the suit
Hmm.
was wrong? And that's you're right. That's it makes it seem like I think his what he decides to do is go get the buffalo skin. So it's almost like he's gonna try again, or
Yeah.
he had the wrong material. That's
Or
it.
thicker skin.
Like
Okay,
it
so
like
whatever he had
leaked or
before wasn't as
something.
thick. Yeah.
It was too thin.
Yeah. Where did he get a skin though?
So I don't think it was buffalo before because
Yeah, it must have been something else.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
shit! Was that the skin from the previous clone? Like the clone that died?
Oh,
And
I
he
think you're right because he said we're
oh
gonna use them.
we're gonna use him.
Yeah,
Oh
you're
my
right. You're totally
god!
right. That's what it was. It
Oh
was
my
that guy's
god!
skin.
He totally skinned him and made him
Yep.
into the thing.
Yep. Yep. Good point. I was wondering what they're gonna use them for. Yeah. I didn't even put it together, and I already
Wow!
knew about this when we saw that.
I didn't even put
Ugh,
together either until just I'm like, well,
God
what skin
damn
did
it.
he get?
You're so right. You're so right.
Wow!
Shit. That's a good one. Good for the
Yeah,
rewatch.
yeah, nice. Now, this is so crazy.
Yeah, that was
First of all, that there's Buffalo, and then
mm-hmm.
second of all, that like he's got rules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. The rules. Oh no.
Oh, you're right. I said the wrong word. And he's on a black horse.
Yeah. He's got a
Is that
mask
Johnny Depp?
on. Doesn't look like Dr. Manhattan.
No.
Oh god.
Yeah. Now that had 3 candles on it. Does it always have 3 candles? I've never really noticed. I'm
Uh, yeah, I haven't
trying to
kept
pay
count.
attention. This reminds me of Dr. Manhattan, this concentrating thing.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, yeah, I don't know.
All right, I forgot about your like he's Dr. Manhattan theory.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crazy one. I love that. Oh, that's just I love the fact that this is like partially Downton Abbey.
It's so Downton
Like a
Abbey.
letter on like a platter. That's classic.
You can't touch it with your filthy peasant hands.
Exactly.
When you arrived here.
When you first arrived,
That sounds
the
like it's Dr.
terms.
Manhattan. Like Dr. Manhattan said, "Hey, you come to Mars, but here are the rules."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Not underlined, underscored.
Of course.
And he didn't like the tomatoes.
Yeah, he gave him tomatoes. That's so weird.
This is so fucked up. He's a devious cur.
I know. There's like so many clues here.
Yeah.
Is Dr. Manhattan a devious cur?
Yeah. What's an anagram for devious cur?
It's like he talks about flowery pleasantries, but
Yeah.
then he writes his letter like this.
Yeah, did Ozymandias want to escape and he made a deal with Dr. Manhattan to go live on Mars with him, but now he's trying to leave? I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't really make sense. It does seem like there's some agreement where it's like he's trapped there and he has to like obey rules and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible that Dr. Manhattan like gave him those conditions, but would he even care to do this? Like what's in it for him?
Yeah. Tomatoes. Bucephalus.
Uh-oh.
That's like a famous horse from something.
He's going to break the rules. What if you break the rules?
Yeah, now he's putting on his costume.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a huge reveal.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't read this on Twitter, which I did, sadly.
Yeah.
So I knew the whole time. Or I knew that's what people were saying.
The heroes.
I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say nothing
What a
about no
weird
Russians.
aside. Yeah, that's a weird aside.
It
Like a
is
little
weird.
detail about the world.
Here's where the war's at.
Is he even running for re-election? That was my question. I love this. Good. I'm gonna give it to somebody else for a ruse. We got a ruse in play.
Time for a ruse.
It was ruse time.
I do like the callback that she's using the glasses.
Oh yeah.
Or goggles, or I don't know what to call that thing. The X-ray vision
The
thing.
in spectacles.
In spectacles. There you go. That's a good one. This is Twin Peaks too, like bringing coffee to the scene.
Mm-hmm. That was a crazy shot.
Yeah.
Girl. It's weird because, like, do they help you see in the dark or are they X-ray? Which one is it?
Yeah.
Are they infrared or X-ray or both?
I think they might be both.
I do want to see what his wife thinks about that.
Oh yeah, it's a good point. Oh right, that's part of it. Like they blew up the body now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much it would matter if they found out he used some cocaine, but
Yeah. From my car? I love that. Wheelchair. It's even crazier.
what?
It's weird that she said they missed it because, like, who would have hidden that information? Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, she wasn't
Mm-hmm.
over the crime scene investigation. Why is that compartment so easy to find? I
It
love
is
this
weird that
line
that's off
though.
screen.
I do love this though. Yeah, you're right. It is. But they did show her showing up to the house though.
True.
Maybe they just cut that out.
Yeah.
Editing.
Yeah. They didn't need it because she's gonna say what happened.
I do love that line of like, "Hey, my dad had one, so now I always check."
Mm-hmm.
It's just a weird quirk I have.
Yeah.
And I love that because she, you know, took the bomb and put it in the grave and threw her best friend on top of it. So you can't be like, I am the feigning type.
Right. I thought that was weird.
I thought that's weird too.
Like, why?
Yeah, that part makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Bitch, take this coffee and pour it out.
I'm gonna pour it in the hole.
Yeah, I assume that's like she's ruining the crime scene. Is why that's important.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think.
Take care in spectacles.
Yeah, I know she left him behind. Packing up to go home. Don't you live there? I guess he doesn't
Yeah,
live at
that's
the
weird.
gates. He's
Yeah,
got
yeah,
a
yeah,
long
yeah.
commute.
There you go.
Oh, that's weird. This is extra weird. She's a woman now. So it wasn't like the little girl who threw the thing. This was decades
Yeah.
later, and
Yeah,
now
it's
she's
a long
dead.
time later.
Oh, wow. That's so fucking weird. Well, there was the space junk, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
presumably.
it's like, are you a fan now? Oh, he's reading a Rorschach journal. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they probably will bring that up at some point.
Like, why didn't he know who she was?
Yeah, it's weird.
And why would he know that?
I
He didn't hear
know.
the
If
story.
he doesn't know who everyone is, like,
But the story wasn't to him in the beginning.
right.
So, and why does a brick kill God?
It's almost like God is Dr. Manhattan, but it's weird because Dr. Manhattan's actually in the story.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought the episode was going to end here.
Why is there a roll instead of a rim shot? I didn't get that part.
Yeah, you're right. You don't do a drum roll after a joke. That's weird.
Yeah. This soft focus shot is weird.
Yeah. Platinum user.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't hear that part. Your message is over.
It's too late.
Yeah. Sorry, platinum member, but
I don't know. Maybe he can use his like omniscience to hear. But
it's
then
so the
why does he need
future.
a message machine?
Well, it's
Anyway.
warbling. So I don't even get what's happening here.
This definitely reminded me of Lost, the whole like Hurley thing.
Yeah.
Because it just, yeah,
And
it
about
seems so
40
random.
seconds later. Low rumble. You know, I didn't think about it before, but is this Angela's car? I didn't
Yeah, I
think
don't
it
know
looked the
whose car
same,
it
but now it
is.
actually looks like an SUV. I didn't think it was an SUV before,
You
but
think,
now it looks
yeah,
like her
maybe.
SUV.
Maybe. If it is, we should definitely find out. But then why
So,
would he
but then it
do
looks like
that?
it came from. It looked like it came from
Yeah.
Mars,
But
but
well,
which
how
makes
is
no
there a car
sense.
on Mars? Or did he like make it? Like, I don't know what
He
happened.
can manipulate matter,
Just
but
like
then she
make.
laughs.
Oh, yeah, it does look like it's an SUV.
Yeah,
You're right.
which makes me think it's her car, Angela's car.
Yeah, it might be.
But
I
like,
guess.
but then she's not saying. She's not like, oh, she has no context for that. So
Yeah.
why is she laughing? Is this the brick?
Yeah, I felt like it was referencing that, but I don't know why or
And
what
she's
the point
attributing
was
it to
supposed to be.
him, even though it's not really from him. But then who would drop a car right
Oh, okay.
there?
There's the Lindelof answer. So the Lindelof answer is somebody else dropped the car, and she just thinks it's
Yeah,
Dr.
she just
Manhattan.
thinks it's Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Misinterpretation has to happen at some point.
Yeah, but why would they drop a car right there? Like,
I have no idea. It makes no sense. Coincidence? No, yeah, that's weird. I have no idea.
But good episode, man. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool ideas. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm really interested to see the next episode and see how this whole thing progresses. I think introducing this character really takes it to another level
Yeah.
about like what's happening here. So,
Yeah. Yeah, so I thought like most of the boundaries of the world were mapped out already by the first two. So I was really
hmm
surprised that it's like a whole new element in the third one. Um so yeah, I do agree that like eventually I expect her to team up um with Regina King. Uh but it will probably be multiple episodes of conflict before that happens.
hmm
Something's going to have to change in the plot. They're going to have to like find things out, and she's gonna have to be convinced that you know uh Regina King's not like up to something that
hmm
she doesn't approve of or whatever vigilante type thing she's got a problem with.
yeah.
um and I think the story's weird. That's something that I'll have to look back at that once we get through the season,
The
like to
joke she's telling.
yeah, to try to
Yeah, the
understand
joke is
that
really
story.
weird.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
It's very
Well,
strange.
this idea of like the person you forgot about in the beginning is the one who wins in the end is
Hmm.
interesting thing that I feel like is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
point.
it does seem like that's part of it, but yeah, why is she telling that to Dr. Manhattan? Like, how is he supposed to take that? Um,
Well, and there's the thing about Dr. Manhattan being able to see the future, right? And so this idea of God not seeing something coming that can kill him, it seems apropos to Dr. Manhattan.
right.
Like you think you're omniscient, but there could be something that was put in the works years ago that
Yeah,
can come and harm you now. So that
yeah.
there's some thematic things that kind of relate, but it's the whole thing of God, like God being non-omniscient in a story is weird to be like,
Very
I don't
weird.
know who this doesn't happen a lot, which means it happens sometimes. But he's like,
Right.
I don't know who you
Who
are.
are you?
Like,
Like,
why
you
don't
tell
you
me.
know? Yeah, exactly. You tell me who I am. Yeah, and then like for a brick to kill him, like and the only thing about the brick was that it was just an extra brick.
Yeah.
And it was just a way for her to get rid of the brick so that they could have their perfect barbecue, right? Wasn't they
Hmm.
building a barbecue or something like that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like the brick was like superfluous, but it's like let's get rid of it so we can pretend everything's perfect. But then that
Yeah.
that that attempt at perfection somehow killed God because he underestimated or didn't see it coming for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
so if it's a metaphor, then like what small random thing that we've forgotten about will come back later?
mhm.
Maybe is a question to ask.
Well, a thing that somebody discards because it ruins perfection
Yeah.
ends up ruining the most powerful being in creation.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so something Dr. Manhattan is not thinking about, right? Something he forgot
Yeah.
might lead to his ruin or something.
Yeah, maybe so.
Um, yeah, it's a weird one.
But I also think it's weird to tell a story to Dr. Manhattan where he's supposed to be God, but he's also in the story. Like it's just
Yeah.
kind of strange. Like it's a metaphor for you, but you're literally in the story, but that's not actually you.
Oh, well, it's you, but it's not you.
I mean, it is you, but yeah, exactly. Like, but that isn't the
Yeah.
focal point here.
Maybe the only thing I can think of, like, well, what could have happened with a woman 30 years ago that could come back and hurt him? Like, did she have a child or something
Mm,
that has powers or
blue
something?
baby.
A baby's the brick, brick
Mm-hmm.
baby. Um, or she gave him an STD, um, intergalactic virus. Like what kind of thing is like dormant or something for a while, and then it's a problem. Yeah, it's such a weird joke. It's not even a joke.
Herpes?
That's Dr. Herpes to you.
Is it herpes?
Uh, he's like, I didn't see that coming. Um, yeah, it's a weird joke. It's not even a joke.
No, it's not a joke.
Yeah.
And this is like,
like-
roll snare drum.
Yeah, it's like,
what?
why are you doing a roll? You do a roll before a reveal,
Yeah.
but not after a punchline.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing. Yeah,
It is
it's
very
a
weird.
Yeah, it was so weird. She's like she told it wrong. It's like she did
Yeah.
it all wrong. Like everything was wrong about that. It
Yeah.
wasn't a joke. The format didn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, fun episode.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. They're still holding on to the element of the show that I've really enjoyed, and
Mhm.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it probably more than any TV show that's on right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And yeah, it's probably the thing I've enjoyed the most, like on TV since like Twin Peaks or
Mm-hmm.
Leftovers, maybe before that. Because I don't, there aren't that many series I watch. Like mostly these days, I just watch old stuff,
Yeah.
which I enjoy. But it's just it's kind of nice to have a thing that is in progress.
Now that makes me think: is Homeland back for a final season at
I
some
think it
point?
will be. I think it's
Okay.
coming next year.
Wow.
Maybe early next
Barely
year or
care.
something, and it'll be the final season. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It does feel like why bother, and yet I don't know. They're going to. So
Yeah, all right. Yeah, otherwise, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode, seeing what we get to. Yeah, there's so many little mysteries happening. We got uh what is it? Mayor Giddy Up?
Senator Giddy Up,
Senator
please.
Gill, excuse me. Sent by the state. And
Yeah, that's the thing.
and then we've got whatever the Calvary's doing. We've
Yeah,
got the Louis
yeah,
Gossett Jr. backstory
yeah,
with Sister Knight's character.
yeah,
Whatever's happening there is supposed to tie in, and the
yeah.
idea that he might have been justified in killing Don Johnson is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, I did it, and like there's a good reason, and like even though you
Mm-hmm.
loved him, like once you figure out the reason, you'll understand why. Like I find that interesting if that can pull that off.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. That's yeah. I'm really curious about how they make that play out, and the related stuff like the police conspiracy.
Well, and the weird thing about lynching someone, right? The point of lynching someone is to make it public.
Right.
And I guess it did reach the news,
Sure.
but it seems like who was it for? And sort of
Mm-hmm.
versus just killing him, shooting him, whatever. Why why was the hanging, which is symbolic to whatever his crimes are, important?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's super weird. And does his wife know if she has any? If she does, she have any clue?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. I have no idea. I think yeah, she's gonna have to say something about what just happened at the funeral, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully we can get like maybe some more indications of like how much she knew of whatever was going on with the chief and his
Yeah.
secret secrets.
So many secrets. Um. Yeah. All right. Well, until next episode.
Yeah, we'll be back with whatever the next one is called.
Well, thanks for listening. You've missed your chance to save 15% off with promo
Sorry,
code
it's too
Mr.
late.
Podcast, but I'm sure we'll be sponsored by Slanket next episode. And just remember, if someone steals your Slanket, call 1-800-SLANKET. That's the first thing you should do.
Indeed.
It's not a number though, so they won't help you. Bye.
But you should try anyway. Yeah. Bye. See you next time.